Should have done it earlier. Anyways, the and Goodwill, Eat with Q. Obviously, she's in the US. Not saying too much about her relationship, or maybe she is, and like, and him, he just want to talk. He's like he wants to say a lot, but he kind of stops himself from saying what he's gonna say. Then he does this thing where he's talking in general, but it's not in general. But he's talking about him and Ewa Q in a way. Like I said, the one I noticed was the one about you have to have money to get married, which is true. You do. But then you can say on the other side that how people be in relationships and their partners will be not not well off or not have enough money, and the woman will stick with the man, and then they will grow together by making the money. But he spoke about a few things. He spoke about pregnancy. He spoke about a woman's mental health and how that her mental should be intact. Um, he spoke about a few things. It's just like I feel like he wants to let off. He wants to say what he wants to say, but like he kind of is told not to say something or say not a lot. There is a whole heap. There is read between the lines kind of thing going on with him. Um, when, like I said, when we first got introduced to Goodwill was when Eat with Q got married to him. I do know about player. I think his name was a player. I do remember seeing her when she used to do mukbangs with him and stuff like that. So it's not like it's nothing strange. I remember when she fell out with the love life and her family and different things happening. And the next thing I know, she was married. She was in Nigeria getting married in the beautiful dress. But then she also even built that up because when she talked about the River Queens, right, in Nigeria, there's this thing, a part of Nigeria, there is this thing that when they get married, they are dressed in a certain attire which represents the River Queen, um, whatever part of Nigeria it is. And she kind of took it and ran off with it. Then she said that how he was well off, which is quite clear to other commentators, reactors, that how it wasn't so. It wasn't. He wasn't a well off man. Not only that, uh, she was trying to introduce him to American foods. She was doing a lot of crazy stuff as well. Um, like I said, the one with the Muslim, where she dressed as a Muslima, and then him and her went to feed the people, but it was the way it was done. It looks like something like out of, I don't even know what to say. It just looks so weird. It looks very insultive, and so she did a lot of things that was kind of off key, I suppose, if you could call it that. Then, then she went off. Then she came back, and then she wore like my thinking. Nigeria could be similar to the West Indies. Like you kind of don't want to stand out, even if you are well off, I suppose, right? So she wore this suit, and the guys who was working the market, she actually gave him an eyeful. So that alone tells you that how the relationship wasn't even very tight. Then obviously he must have loved her on one part or the other because there was a lot of attraction between them. You know what I mean? Um, when they were filming, there was a lot of she's sort of coaching him how to sit, how to do, how to this, how to do that. Then the recent one now was when she left Nigeria, because they have been moving around a lot to different locations, right? They moved around to different locations and stuff. And lots of people was telling her that how an African man or Nigerian man requires a few things, and you have to be careful when you are with a Nigerian man, particularly. It's not that it has anything to do with, well, men is men at the end of the day. You'll get a good man, you get a bad man, you get in between man. And she seemed like she was feeding the family or putting on a front, even though, like I said once again in the last live, that how, yes, people will put on fronts and different things when they're on YouTube as well. That's normal, that's absolutely normal. But at the same time, it's like when you're doing something and it's to do with another country, it's like she didn't research the country, the people. She was when you are around the people, that gives you an idea of what the country like. You kind of get a feel, especially if you've been out with the people from the country, from when you are in the Americas or when you are in the UK. It gives you a feel of the people, so, or the man, and what they like and what they want. So you know that whenever you decide to move to another country or whatever you're doing, that how you have an idea. Being she's American and all, there's loads of kidnappings that goes on in Nigeria. And that was one of the things that I feel that would be very dangerous to her. Now, saying that there is Americans that is in Nigeria and stuff like that, they go to festivals and etc, etc, etc. But in her case, because she is married so close in Nigeria, she was in Abuja, which means that how, right, she hasn't researched the people and who they are. And I feel that how when you're getting into relationships, especially with different people from different countries, particularly, you have to do it home before you do it abroad. And she definitely didn't do it. So the reason why I did this live was because Goodwill came out and he kind of said a few things that says to me that how she probably wasn't ready for a lot of stuff. Like, marriage life is a big thing. It's a big thing. Any woman knows that. Okay, that big thing, being married, right? It's a whole different something else. Like, I mean, like, even married women, when they come on here and they talk about being married, they don't talk about the lows, but they sometimes talk about the highs, and they talk about the differences between them and their man and all sorts of things. So when you are doing that, plus you got to wait for the international papers to come true, whatever the papers are, K9, whatever, well, I don't know the papers. You gotta wait for all that to come true, because the man still have to be able to visit where you are. So, and it seemed like he wasn't coming to America anyway. It just seemed like there was something off with that. So there was a lot of questions about that. Then she fell out with somebody who was from Nigeria and all this. There was so much going on, honestly. Now, whether they could have somewhat make it, or whether, or if they are apart, or whatever's going on, or they're broken up, that's another thing. Now, there is a lot of hints thrown out whether they're broken up, not broken up. We don't even know until Eat with Q and Goodwill confirms that. Then it's a whole different something. But they will, but serious Mukbanga was warning. I was putting out a whole heap of warnings, because like, she's married to a Nigerian, so therefore she is in the right place where she is qualified, where she can say, well, A and B and C and C is da, 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 da. But then it was not taken as that. It was taken as being a hater, blah, 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 blah. So that's how the whole thing is. Now he's talking. I'm going to see how much things he's going to talk out, how much things he's going to say, he's kind of saying but not saying in a kind of a way, and you know, yeah. He's saying but not saying. So we'll see. Um, in time, he might just say something, he might move on, who knows? I mean, men tend to move on quicker than women sometimes. Well, she says she's got boundaries up and this and that and that and that and that. But you should have had the boundaries up when you met the man. Like, and not only that, I feel that how you wanted to be married, because when you meet ones like Be Love Life and other people, you want to be married. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being married. There's nothing wrong with to be married, but you yourself like have to be stable as a woman before you can get into that big thing where like the ring is there. Like, you know what I mean? You know, um, yeah. So I do believe there is a lot of things going on with Eat with Cute and Mr. Goodwill. Um, We'll just see in it. That's what we can do. That's what I could say. I could just see. I'm not gonna say, well, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like this. It's not in my place to do it. Here she comes again. But I'm gonna come off before my daughter comes and interrupts me again.